Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Power Rangers Season 3, Episode 20 of my show, but this is about Episode 19 of Season 3. And Episode 9, now, before and Episode 19 in Season 3 is Part 1 in the 3-part episode, Changing of the Zords. But before I start talking about it, I should wait until I get to the 23rd episode to count from the 10. But anyway, but before I start talking about it, I just want to mention something. After this 3-part episode, there is going to be one single episode and then another 3-part episode after it. I just wanted to get that out of the way there before I actually started talking about this episode. But anyway, now getting into the actual episode. This is History of Power Rangers Season 3, Episode 20 of my show, but this is about Episode 19 of Season 3. And as I stated, Episode 19 in Season 3 is Part 1 in the 3-part episode, Changing of the Zords. And basically the way this episode starts off is it starts off with Kimberly, Catherine, and Aisha in the youth center, and Catherine's telling Kimberly that she thought she liked the shop, and she says Kimberly brings a whole meaning to the word, and because by this point she's their friend, but they don't know that she's under one of Rita's spells at this point. But they will actually find out, not in the episode that's going to come after this 3-part episode, but in the next 3-part episode after that. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up since I mentioned it. But anyway, basically what happens is, after that, what basically happens is, she's telling Kimberly that she thought she liked the shop, but she said that Kimberly brings a whole new meaning to the word, and then that's when she sees Tommy, and she sees Kimberly kiss him, and that causes sort of I don't think in this case it's jealousy. I think it's partly because of she kind of also has feelings for him, as it stated in this 3-part episode, and it will later be revealed. But they don't know that she's under one of Rita's spells because she doesn't tell them. It's not that she doesn't tell them that she's under it. It's because of Rita's spells being too powerful for her to tell them that she's actually under it. But before I continue, I just want to mention something else. After this 3-part episode, there will be one single episode, which is technically episode 22 of season 3. But then after that, there is going to be another 3-part episode, and that 3-part episode is gonna be where the spell that Rita has placed on Catherine is broken. I just wanted to get that out of the way there since I mentioned it ahead of time. And then after Tommy is talking with Kimberly and Catherine for a little bit, then it goes into a scene where Zed is, and then Zed, because Finster starts walking up to him, and then he's like, "What is it this time, Finster? A monster that blows itself up? A monster that blows itself up?" Which I think is a bit of a joke, because by this point, all of Finster's monsters, as well as all of his monsters, have been blown up by the Rangers when they destroyed them. Oh my god, so he makes a bit of a joke about that. I'm sorry, I find that a little funny. Anyway, but Finster says that now it's some good news after so long of searching. He's finally located the ancient Zords of Sordnia, And then, basically, Zed and Rita are intrigued by that. Now that I brought the Zords up, I'm gonna mention this. The Zords that they talk about, that they're talking about in this case, are known as the Shogun Zords. I didn't bring those Zords up in the character bio video because they didn't show up until this point, and I felt it was not necessary for me to cover that since it was gonna take me a while before I got to this point. Anyway, that's why I'm bringing it up now. And then basically, after that, what happens is, then Zed sends Finster with Squat and Babu to locate the ancient Zords, and then they're looking for them in this like jungle area, and then while they're looking for them, Squat sits down for a little bit, and then he sits down on this like stump thing, but it turns out the stump is actually a leg, because he basically rubs it to clear up some of the dust, and then when he sees it, he's like, "Hey, what do you know? Babu, Finster, look! I found one of the dormant Zords!" And then Finster says that basically he's right about them finding it, so they're wondering how they can get it, and then Zed tells them that the way they can get a hold of the Shogun Zord's power is by utilizing one of the Rangers Ninja Power Coins. Oh my god. Because basically what they plan to do is, I'm just going to explain what they plan to do for this part is, they plan to use Catherine, who's still under Rita's spell at this point, to steal one of the Power Rangers Ninja Power Coins so that they can basically grant access to the Falcon Zord, so they can steal it and steal its technology to copy it in order to program it into the Shogun Zords. And then basically, then it goes into the scene where where Kimberly and Catherine and Tommy are at the beach, and then Kimberly is asking Catherine if she's gonna come in the water with them, and but she says that's sweet of her to ask, but she doesn't like the water. But then Tommy shows up, and then that's what causes her to change her mind, because as I said, she also starts to have feelings for him, which it also is actually kind of funny in this case, because this is the last 3-part episode before the Different Shade of Pink 3-part episode, and she will break free from it. But anyway, I just wanted to get and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because she tells Kimberly that she's afraid of the water. Now, I'm going to explain more about why she's afraid when I get to the 3-part episode. I just wanted to bring it up there, though. Anyway, after she sees Tommy and says that, she says that she changed her mind. After all, what's the harm in being in town if she can't socialize with friends? She says that she'll just go to change, and then that's when Rita shows up where she is, and then Rita asks her, "So, my little cat, are you ready for your next assignment?" And then Catherine, who's still under Rita's spell at this point, said that she's always ready for her next assignment, and then basically Rita tells Catherine that she has to steal one of the Power Rangers' power coins in order for them to gain access to the Ninja Zord, the Falcon Zord, in order to steal it so that Zed and her can copy its technology to awaken the Shogun swords. And then she says that she'll get on it right away, and then after Zed looks down, Rita basically heads back to the palace, and then after she looks down at the palace, she looks at the earth through her repulsoscope, and then she sees that there are a lot of people down there, and she's like, she can't steal the coin with all those people around. Ugh. And then Zed gets a little frustrated by that. He's like, we need that coin in order to get into the Ninja Sword. And then that's when Rito comes up with the idea. He's like, well, create a diversion. And then I guess Zed kind of makes a bit of a joke by this, because he says next, like, brilliant. You've proven yourself to be more than a bag of bones, Rito. And then he's like, well, I'm always trying it. And then he's like, it's Zed, you guilty of a head. Zed. It's Zed, you... Wit. You wit. And then he's like, I'll send the Tengas in the confusion. Cat will be able to wipe one of the Power Rangers' power coins, allowing us access to the Falcon Sword, which will then allow us to copy its technology to power the ancient swords. So they basically send the Tengas down to the earth, and then the Rangers sort of temporarily morph to their, like, not really morph, like, but they do the Ninja Ranger power thing where they sort of appear in their ninja outfits, and then basically what happens is they're fighting the Tengas, and then what happens is at that point, while the Rangers are fighting, the Tengas, Catherine uses that as an opportunity to steal Kimberly's power coin, which inadvertently also has an effect on her, which I'll explain why it has when I get to the part with Zordon. Then she finds this picture of Tommy and Kimberly, and then she sees it, and then she says that basically he won't be hers along Kimberly, and then basically she decides to also steal Aisha's coin since she's there, and then, but by the time she tries to steal it, Bulk and Skull show up, so she can't because they want to escort her to safety. But in all honesty, it's still a good thing because she stole the coin that she was needed to do, and then basically because of that, Kimberly gets affected in a way that causes her body to fluctuate, and then basically Tommy contacts Zordon afterward, and then he mentions about what's happening to Kimberly and that her powers are weakened, and then he said that her power coin must have fallen into evil hands. This is the only logical explanation. And then basically what happens is after that, the Rangers, then have to regroup, and Tommy then goes with Ninjor to fight Goldar once he shows up, but then but then Zed and Rita make Goldar grow, and then that's when Tommy calls on the Falcon Zord. Well, what happens is first, Catherine shows back up at the palace with Kimberly's pink power coin, and then when she hands it to Rita, Rita's like, Zeddy, do you know what this means? And then Zed's like, yes, I know. Boss, yes, I do, man. Boss, with this coin, we can enter the Falcon Zord, steal it, and copy its technology to create our own fleet of evil Zords. And then basically then it goes into the scene where the Rangers are in the command center, and then Zordon tells them well, first, while they're in the command center, Zed sends Goldar down, and then Tommy goes in the Falcon Zord in order to deal with Goldar, and Ninjor goes with them, and then basically what happens is in that process, and while they're fighting Goldar, Catherine manages to get, who's still under Zed's Rita and Zed's influence at this point, gets into the Falcon Zord because of the pink power coin that was stolen, and she uses some energy to put Tommy to sleep, and she's like, enjoy your little cat nap, Tommy, and then she tells that the Falcon Zord is only yours, Lord Zed, and then basically Zed is saying that Rita's pet has done what? Rita's pet has done well. The cat has caught the bird. Now it's time to put phase 2 into action. And then basically they also capture Ninjor at this point, and then after that Goldar gets away, and then Tommy basically explains to Zordon the situation about Lord Zed and Rita having stolen the Falcon Zord, and then Zordon tells Tommy to basically retreat back to the command center, and then he says alright, and then he gets a little disappointed that Zed's finally defeated the Power Rangers, but that's not gonna stop him. If it takes every ounce of him, a fight that he has left in him, he's gonna make sure that the Power Rangers are victorious, and then he teleports back to the command center. And then what happens is then Zordon's explaining to the Rangers that when Ninjor re-energized their Ranger powers by giving them the new power coins, he also linked them with their natural human energy. And because Kimberly's power coin has fallen into evil hands, her body's being affected. So technically it's sort of like a connective kind of thing. And then, because if you guys remember earlier on in this episode, when her power coin got stolen, her powers were weakening, and then that's when they asked Zordon about that, and he explained that the coin must have fallen into evil hands, and that was the only explanation. And then he, basically, the Rangers are saying that Tommy said that they have to get it back, and then it goes into a scene where Catherine is in a tree holding the picture of Kimberly and Tommy, and he says that soon Kimmy will be out of the picture, and then she tears the picture in half and crumbles Kimberly's part of it and holds the picture of the part of Tommy that's the part of the picture that has Tommy, and then that's basically where this part stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, just please give this video the real best you guys can. And I will see you guys, probably, I don't think tomorrow for the next video, because I think, it might be tomorrow for the next video. I might have to check the date. But anyway, just please give this video the real best you guys can, guys. And I will see you guys next time for the next video. So until then, like I always tell you with this series, may the power protect you always.